So this is our first council meeting of 2024. Bonjour et bienvenue. And over the
Hello
past
and welcome.
I'm sure many of you have as well. I've run into a few friends and colleagues even today who have said to me, Happy New Year. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? Is it still okay when we're 3 weeks into the new year? I don't know where you stand on the deadline for saying Happy New Year, but since this is our first council meeting of 2024, I think it is a good time for us to reflect on what has happened over the last 12 months and look ahead to our work this year. Je pense que c'est un bon moment pour réfléchir à ce qui s'est passé l'année
It's a
dernière.
good time to think about what happened last year and what lies ahead for this year.
Many of you are hoping I will deliver a State of the City speech lasting an hour or more. Yep, thank you, Councillor Leeper. But I'm afraid, as I did last year, I am going to have to disappoint you again with just a few brief remarks. It is hard to believe that it's been a year since I spoke at our first council meeting of 2023. But when I look back, I think we have accomplished a great deal since then. We passed not just one, but two city budgets. We've taken some important steps forward with our federal and provincial partners on a number of different and very important objectives. And we've made some other important decisions that will shape the future of our city, including hiring a new permanent city manager, setting our priorities for this term of council, launching a working group to find savings and efficiencies at City Hall, and taking the first step toward building an even better Lansdowne Park. I know not all of these decisions have been unanimous, but I've heard from many residents that they're pleased with the professional and respectful tone of our council as we have dealt with many difficult issues. The two budgets that we have adopted so far have taken a balanced, responsible, and practical approach. We've delivered on my campaign promise to keep taxes low while investing in our core services. Nous avons tenu ma promesse électorale de maintenir les impôts.
We kept my election promise to keep taxes low while investing in our basic services.
Dollars in savings and efficiencies so that, like many families in our community, we are prioritizing and we are spending within our means. That has allowed us to invest even more deeply in our priority areas, including fixing our roads and sidewalks, building more affordable housing, hiring more paramedics and police officers, and building more recreation centers and parks for our residents. And it's allowed us to respect the affordability crisis that our residents are facing. Cela nous a permis de respecter la
This
crise.
allowed us to respect this affordability crisis that our residents are facing.
It is typical to start a new year with hope and optimism, and I'm sure all of us have a renewed energy to do our work and deliver results for the people of Ottawa. But we have to acknowledge that not everyone in our community is feeling optimistic right now. I've spoken to many residents in recent weeks who are starting the year more concerned than ever about rising costs. Many of them are struggling to make ends meet. There is a lot of anxiety about interest rates, about inflation, about economic uncertainty. Many people are worrying about the cost of rent and mortgage payments and the price of food. That's the experience of our residents right now, and we must continue not just to respect that, but to respond to it. C'est ce qui vivent nos résidents à ce moment précis.
This is what our residents are going through right now, and we need to continue to not only respect this situation, this reality, but also respond to it.
I'm focused on a few important things. I intend to continue serving the needs of all residents throughout Ottawa, those who live in our rural communities and villages, our suburban neighborhoods, and our urban core. I intend to continue respecting the financial pressures that our residents are facing and ensure that we are not adding to their burden with significant increases in taxes and fees. I intend to continue to work collaboratively with each and every one of you, as I have since this term of council began, so we are always putting our residents first. I intend to ensure we are building more homes and investing in much-needed infrastructure to support this growth. I intend to continue to bring a balanced, responsible approach to our work. j'ai l'intention de continuer à
I
apporter
intend to continue to use a balanced approach and a responsible approach when it comes to our work.
We have a lot of important initiatives this year, including the Rural Summit, the pilot project for an alternative response for mental health calls, and in some important progress on building recreation facilities and improving our infrastructure, including roads and sidewalks, recreation centers, and parks. And we've already started to work on the 2025 budget. As I've said before, the 2025 budget includes significant pressures. They will make the 2025 budget the most difficult that we have had so far in this term. But we must continue to bring the balanced, responsible approach that we have employed so far, investing in our core services and greatest priorities while keeping taxes as low as possible for our residents. So I encourage all of us to continue working effectively and collaboratively together on behalf of the people of Ottawa. Let's continue the balanced approach that has brought us this far. Let's keep Ottawa affordable for everyone. And with that in mind, I want to take this opportunity to share some very good news today. After some very productive negotiations with our federal partners, I'm very pleased to share that I have signed an agreement for funding from the Housing Accelerator Fund. The full details of this significant investment for our city will be provided in a formal announcement in the coming days. But I wanted to share the news today that we have an agreement. This funding will greatly amplify our efforts to build affordable housing and streamline the planning approval process. Ce financement permettra d'amplifier considérablement.
This will allow us to amplify our efforts to build affordable housing and simplify the process for approving plans.
Local members of Parliament, the MPs from the Ottawa area, who have been working very hard on behalf of Ottawa to secure this funding. I also want to thank Housing Minister Sean Fraser and the Prime Minister for their collaboration throughout this process. Again, I'm looking forward to a more formal announcement in the near future at which all of the details will be shared. This is excellent news for our city. But our work doesn't stop there. We must continue to work hard to secure the support we need from other levels of government. This is one of my biggest goals for 2024. We need the help of both the federal and provincial governments so we can make Ottawa truly a better, safer, and more affordable city for everyone.